Ultimate Spike Detox.
The ultimate
Spike Detox.
like
Wellness Company, or get
and
it on Amazon. It's a super important supplement.
okay, so hold on. What's
Yeah,
the
and it's
wellness
got to
company?
be taken for at least a year.
It's from the wellness company. Is that what you just said?
Wellness Company makes it. It's called the Ultimate Spike Detox. And
Okay.
you
And
got to
that's on
take it.
Amazon.
It's on Amazon too. And you got to take it for a year to clear out the spike protein, at least.
Okay. Now that's good news. So I wanted to give my audience something that they, and especially for my parents, I want to use that on them as well.
Yeah, get
Um,
your parents on it. I've got all my family members. I personally had COVID 3 times. I had this stuff stuck in my body. And, according to the blood testing, I've now essentially cleared out almost all of it. And I feel so much better. So,
what about the rumors of metals within or AI type of technology within the vaccines? There's any proof on that? Do we know?
no, I've looked at the data on that. I think they're just looking at various crystals, what's called lipid crystals that can look like little microchips. And this luciferase you asked about, that's simply a reporter enzyme that was used in the development of it, where you can actually see a bright light. The one thing that's legit, though, is did you see early on that these demonstrations of magnetism? Did you see that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out that was legit. When the first batches, they use very much smaller batches, and they use magnetic beads to in the manufacturing of the vaccines, and probably some of the magnetic shavings came off, and people took the injections. That's what made the arm magnetic. Because I saw a couple
I've
demonstrations of
seen it
that. That was
everywhere.
legit.
I've even seen it on meat at the stores, and they're putting mRNA vaccines in cattle and in our food now, right? I mean, that's what I'm hearing. Is that
Well, the self-replicating genetic vaccines have been in pork since 2017. So a lot of people don't eat pork anymore. I quit eating it. And it's advancing in beef. My understanding is in beef and chicken, they're not using it yet, but the plans are underway to do exactly that. And so, many people
so we
are
really
looking.
can't escape this? I mean, it's like I
Well,
mean, unless you live in a cave and you hunt your own food. I mean, how do you get away
yeah,
from this?
well, no. What you need to do is just go to companies that now are like, for instance, Wellness Farms. Another thing to remember is you have Wellness Company, Wellness Farms. They have completely grass-fed, pure beef, no vaccines being utilized at all. And there's other companies out there that are advertising. In Dallas, there's a local farm that's advertising now, and people are just going to quit buying beef at Costco or Kroger, what have you, and they're going to be more selective.
I talked to a funeral director, and then he just passed away as well because he took the vaccine. But he was talking about what they were seeing with people that were dying from COVID, specifically people that were dying from the vaccine. What I said, the vaccine, that they were pulling out almost like a calamari type substance out of their veins of the clottedness, and they've never seen anything like that. What is that?
That's spike protein in the blood. And a retired military leader, Tom Haviland's done a study on this. About 70% have these at the time of death. There's so much spike protein in the blood, it turns the blood into this kind of white, fibrous clots after death when it stops
What
circulating.
what
So
is
this
that?
is
That has to be some kind of that's not AI at all. Like that's not kind of
no, no, that's spike protein. Spike protein folds and becomes amyloidogenic. Anything that's amyloidogenic in the body is rubbery, and it is rubbery. I've felt them. They're like rubber.
Do you believe if someone's on blood thinners, this can help?
Blood thinners is interesting. The blood thinners just stop additional blood clots from forming. The only thing that dissolves it is the ultimate spike detox. That's the reason why it's so important. So I've had people on blood thinners, and the blood clots stay the same. They actually don't go away. They don't really start to dissolve until we use the ultimate spike detox in addition to the blood thinners.
So how would you take this ultimate spike detox? Like, is it a pill? Is it under the
Yeah,
tongue? What is this?
yeah, it's a capsule, and it's got to be taken on an empty stomach. It does not work otherwise. And so, the dose on the bottle is 2 capsules twice a day on an empty stomach. And,
Is it too late for my parents? I mean,
no, it's not too late. The only risk you need to know about, I mean, this is a real supplement used like a real medicine. It is a slight blood thinner itself. So you have to warn people that, look
What if
for,
my parents are already on blood thinners?
it still can be used, but you got to watch for easy bruising, bleeding from the
Okay.
nose or gums. It doesn't happen commonly, but you need to, like anything, there are warnings, and I have to warn people on this. These are not just inert substances. These are supplements we're using in high dose like drugs, but they dissolve the spike protein. And I tell you, the spike protein blood tests go down and people get better.
We were under the rule that I like to call the World Health Organization, CDC. Do you think it was a good move for Trump to remove us from that?
Yeah, the WHO was part of this whole COVID deception. They tried to deceive us on the origins of SARS-CoV-2. They relentlessly pushed the vaccines, which were unsafe and ineffective, and they actually sought to have world domination. They wanted to make the call on the next vaccine used around the world.
It's
They
not a
wanted to,
conspiracy. They were able to use it to lock people down, destroy
right.
the economy. It's a weapon.
Well, not only that, but the WHO was also the communication hub, we believe. So they have over 190 member nations, over 100 what's called 140 national focal points. This is important. National focal points are local offices that distribute out the messages. So the one in the United States is called PAHO, or the Pan American Health Organization in Washington, right near the White House. And if you remember during the pandemic, they sent out a bunch of messages all on the same day everywhere in the world. So if you turned on a TV in Russia or Japan or Indonesia, United States, India, Canada, Europe, the same message came out on the same day. The only entity that could do that is the WHO.
They
So
were all in lockstep.
so here's an example. This one came out early. No one is safe. No one is safe. I mean,
Yeah.
just to, like you couldn't be.
Programming.
Yeah. Here's another one that came out later on. The virus will hunt the unvaccinated.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, that was on Anderson Cooper,
Oh
Rachel
my
Maddow,
Lord.
yeah, everywhere. That came out in Japan. It came out everywhere on the same day. Here's another one. Crisis of the unvaccinated.
But people really bought into this, and they still do today. I still see people wearing latex gloves, masks, shields, and it's sad to see medical experts that are under this kind of like mind control. I mean, I'm talking about people that I would assume have a pretty high IQ, and they're not very spiritually aware. But I mean, they're just kind of. I mean, it's kind of sad to see this. But even in hospitals in El Paso, my dad was just in there in ICU, and everyone there, man, still masked up and talking about COVID and 6 feet apart, and I just can't believe this mass hypnosis.
Yeah, it's mass hypnosis, mass psychosis. People have basically bought into this, and they're greatly fearful. You remember some of these videos of people wearing masks, driving alone in a car or
I
swimming
thought,
in a swimming pool. They had me on Fox News. I've been on national TV about hundreds of times in the pandemic, and they asked me to comment. There was this poor girl, and she's somewhere up in Oregon, I think, running a 1,000-meter race, and they made the kids wear a mask, and she passes out because she just can't ventilate, at 1,000, running as hard as you can. And of course, this is a sign that people they've lost their minds.
yeah, easily. I mean, I can't believe we're living in this time where it's mass insanity. It really is mass insanity. Let me ask you this: the doctors, how are they benefiting monetarily on putting people on ventilators, respirators, giving them remdesivir? I think they were spiking the deaths. I know